Hey y'all, what's happening? It's your brother in the footwork, DJ Cornerstone, and today on Give Us the Works, I'm interviewing the sister in the mix, none other than DJ Cuenique of Street Madness Radio and a whole bunch of other good stuff. So y'all pay attention, get ready, cause DJ Cuenique is gonna give us the works. What's up, y'all? It's your brother in the footwork, DJ Cornerstone, and you are watching Give Us the Works on the Footworkout channel, where I interview various dancers, DJs, and producers. So listen up and pay attention while our guest today gives us the works. All right, there she is.
I got something new going on here, so
Oh yeah,
bear with me.
that's all
I'm
right.
playing with my backgrounds.
Oh, see, you got that green screen in the back, huh? You must have been to do something for real with your background. Let's see.
I mean, other than put my what's the name in the back, but
Okay.
that's what's there. You go.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. The Cuenection. Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking that.
Thank you.
Man, yeah. Did you design that yourself?
I designed it myself. Yes, I did.
Come on now. Because that was gonna be one of the questions. I looked at your SoundCloud and your profile said something like you DJ, you do graphic design and some more stuff, some other stuff. Like, no, she didn't say some more stuff.
Like I can't put it all. When they give you that bio, they give you that small box, and I can't put it all in there. But if I could, I do some of everything.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good deal. You know, and a lot of creative people like that too. They like more than two talents. So that's good. Yeah.
I'm blessed. I feel like I'm blessed. Music, art, and doing like anything that's doing things with my hands creatively. I like doing it. So, I mean, it's different mediums to art. So people make pottery, other people make, so I have a cousin that makes statues and paintings. I paint, but everything, but everybody plays into their best strengths, and my best strength is music. So.
Yeah, right on. Before I was going to ask you questions, but I got to introduce you properly. So first off, thank you and welcome. The show is called Give Us the Works because it's all about letting us know all about you. You know how they used to say back in the day, give me the works for that Dairy Queen Sunday or something like that. I won't put everything on there. So we want to know as much as possible. Yeah, so I appreciate you so much, everybody. This is the home girl, raw on the turntables, DJ Cuenique. Give it up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So
you're too kind.
Oh man, yeah. Hey, so I'm gonna just go ahead and ask you. For one, I got to start off with this. Where are you from? Let everybody know.
South Side.
South Side.
I am from.
It's working.
Working. I'm from the Grand Crossing area, Grand Crossing South Shore. Shout out to Six Figure Dealer because I just learned about that area and how it was once used like the railroads crossing. That's where it got its name from, Grand Crossing. It was the grand crossing of train tracks. So I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. Yeah. So I grew up there. I went to St. Lawrence Catholic School till like the 7th grade. And then I attended Avalon and went to high school at Hyde Park. I just like, I'm not gonna say I was like everybody else in a way. If you was growing up in that time, you was kind of like everybody else. Everybody's just looking for their own way. Yeah. And the more we learn about the 90s, the 80s and 90s and how the crack epidemic played a role in how we grew up and how we were shaped, it makes sense to where my path is today, and I'm grateful for it. So I gotta give props to where I came up at, as grimy as I feel it was. it's
Yeah.
what made me who I am today. So
Yeah, most definitely, man. You know, can't regret the past because you said it right there. You know, it shapes us.
it
It
does.
makes you stronger, man. Any kind of obstacle. You said Avalon. Was that a performing arts school, high school,
No,
or
Avalon Park is a elementary school. So I'm like,
oh,
was it 81st and Kenwood?
uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a well, the names of schools change. I haven't been in Chicago for the past 4 years, so the name
Okay.
of schools changed, and like Hyde Park was a career academy, and now it's just Hyde Park Academy, and I'm like, but y'all taught careers here. What happened? So
Yeah.
you have schools changing names all the time. So it may have been at one point in time, but when I attended, it was just a regular elementary school.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because it sounds familiar, man. Okay. And right on. So South Side. All right, we got that. Super talented. So I wanted to ask because I was looking up your stuff. I try to research everybody I interview. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the Chicago 77.3, I couldn't really find. I saw a flyer about it, but
Mm-hmm.
like can you break it down what Chicago 77.3 is?
Okay. At this point right now, people are in a how would you say? I'm not even necessarily want to say possession, but we're in a place where we all could have our own station. Like there's a lot of stuff to know about it. Like I haven't taken time to really know, but there are people out there that have taken the time to understand that. And a friend of mine, DJ, shout out to DJ Trendsetter, because without Trendsetter, I wouldn't even be
Right
here
on.
on this station. And that
Yeah.
man all the way in Florida. So just goes to show you how the internet has really been a blessing to a lot of people. We see what's been happening with the pandemic. DJs not being able to DJ, and they getting shut down on Facebook, uh, Instagram for doing lives, and it's like that's what our jobs are. We're supposed to play the
Whoa.
music, so it started making it hard. Like I spin this music, but I can't play it because I keep getting blocked. So then you have DJs that have been creating um, creating stations for people to spin on. So it's not just SoundCloud, where SoundCloud only gives you a certain amount of time if you're not paying into it. The mixes up. Mixcloud allows you to put as many mixes up as you want, but you're limited into how many artists you can play. So if I wanted to pick one particular artist and make a mix, I couldn't do that. After 4 songs, it's gonna get flagged and they're gonna shut it down.
I didn't know that. Dang.
Yeah. I've had many a mix. That's why if you listen to those mixes on there, I haven't been making mixes because I don't want to be limited to how many songs of one artist I could play when this artist
Yeah.
has so many songs. I did a wonderful a Tribe Called Quest mix that
Yeah, I was about to ask, what about the tribute mixes and the birthdays? You
you
can't
can't
even do that.
and if you see it, it's up there, but you can't listen to it because it's not authorized in the United States to be played based upon the rules that they have set that you can't play any more than 4 artists.
Yeah.
So Trendsetter introduced me to DJ Malone, who is one of the heads of Fleet DJs.
Uh-huh.
And Malone came up with the concept of Chicago 77.3.
Okay.
And to now that it's an official station that has call letters. So it's not like we're just, another radio station. This is a station, WBBCDB Chicago is officially Chicago 77.3.
77.
Chicago 77.3. And
Okay.
Malone with, his ties with Fleet DJs put this together and provided this platform. And Trendsetter came to me and asked me about DJing for it. And I said, oh, I have no problem with DJing for a station. It's the Chicago 77.3. But if you gonna call yourself a Chicago station, you
play
have
Chicago
to
music.
play Chicago sound. We got
Yeah.
stations, WGCI, Power 92. Power 92 just touted celebrating 20 years of playing music for Chicago. But not one time can you find that they're playing 2 hours of Chicago juke and footwork.
Nope.
No, like there's no
Nope.
stations in Chicago that's doing it. So I was like, well, if you're gonna call yourself a Chicago station, you gotta have a Chicago sound that's on there that's gonna set yourself apart from every other station that's Chicago. So I took it upon myself. I did an hour at first. And then I went in and I asked for 2 hours. He's like, whatever you want, as long as you can handle it, that's fine. So I made it 2 hours. And the connection was already created prior to this, because the connection is me, connected through everything that I do. So my music, my DJing, my arts, my blog, when I'm my motivational speaking, when I'm just giving advice, like you stay connected through everything. It's like you're connected, but you're connected because it's me. But this is a part of that connection. Chicago juke and footwork is what saved my life, is what has me around even till this day, even not being in Chicago and being 1,600 miles away is still, it's still what I go to. I spin whatever. I still spin house music, my hip hop, my dance, my 80s, my 90s, whatever. But I'm all back to footwork. So shout out to Chicago 7.3 for allowing me to do it. Like nobody else is doing that. And it's, you know, I'm not patting myself on the back like, yeah, you got it, but this is something that we always should have had, you know, this a place where our music can be played and heard. It's thing else. So
absolutely. I'm digging it. Y'all own something. I'm digging this. Yes, indeed. And one of the things I want to say is your DJ name so raw. it just makes so much sense.
You know what? And people have so many different concepts of how they figure I came up with it, but it's so simple. IQ Records, and my middle name is Monique.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess that. Yep, it just makes sense. Yep, man. But no, that's dope what you're doing. And I just want to say real quick to folks watching, y'all make sure y'all support, especially if you're from the Chicagoland area, or even if you're in the footwork, you could be in India. Support Chicago 77.3. Come on, we got to make this grow because they doing what we want.
And you can find it. Look, Google, Apple, Roku, and if you got Alexa, you tell Alexa to enable the Chicago 773 skill, and then from there you'll ask it to play. And every time you ask it to play, it'll play. Shout out to Steamy in Singapore, and GoRat. GoRat tuned into the show. That's my man. He tuned in, he hit me up, and you know, we be talking in the inbox, and he tuned into the show and was like, oh man, you got me working out. And then he says, my brother, you got my brother over here getting into it. He in Singapore. I'm like, Singapore? At the time, I'm like, no, it's early over there. He's like, yeah, it was about 9:30. He's in the morning. He tuning in to this 8:30 at night show. And like, so he just waking up in the morning, footworking. Like, okay. Shout out to Singapore.
Yeah. That's GoRat, man. Love that dude. He got such a good heart, man. Don't make no sense.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. So, man, one thing I wanted to say too, we talk about how the footwork making the track save your life. Do you footwork?
I just started footwork. I'm gonna tell you what. I started when I was young, and then I broke my ankle, and I just like, okay. But as I got older, like I got back, I had my son and I'm listening to the music. I'm like, I put it this way. I'm a stepper. I dance. Don't get me wrong. I be dancing, okay?
Yeah.
I have to make sure I'm comfortable before I let loose. And instead of me just being a footwork, I do footwork moves when I'm dancing, because my dancing be a combination of stepping. I bust a footwork move. I might twerk a little bit and do something. I mean, it's just like a combination of everything. So I look at myself, I just dance and I implement some of everything that I've seen and learned in my movements. But footwork on the sound, it's just life. Like there's something about it that is life. And it only becomes life to you if you allow it to become life to you.
Yeah, that's for real. It's so energetic. Like it's so
energetic. Well, it's therapeutic. Like I don't know. The people be like fast. I be seeing what they be doing with their legs. Like I be tired just watching. Well, that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
That's what we got to break out of. That's why I do it, because I am tired. I'm tired of what I see in the world. I'm knowing what I grew up and went through and what the world is today. It just really lets you know that there's a serious grip on the mind of society and people. There's really nothing that we can do about it individually other than live our life. So a lot of what I do when it comes to making this sound, spinning this sound, creating, just in creation, period, it is really to keep myself away from society, because I don't like the world. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. And it's, you have to learn how to combat that. People wear their emotions on their sleeve. Everybody's jumpy and ready to go at it, and then they don't like somebody's opinion, or you feel some type of way. And unfortunately, what happened yesterday in Tennessee, nobody knows what actually.
Wait, what was this?
Yesterday afternoon, in Tennessee, there was a guy that went into a Kroger's and he went ballistic. He was a third-party vendor, and he went into the grocery store and he shot his intended target. He injured about 14 other people, and then he shot himself.
Oh,
there's no telling what that situation could have been, because he went in and he went and got his intended target. But it's just the principle of how people wear their emotions out. As they say, you wear your emotions on your sleeve. There's no thought into what could happen if you do this. Nobody thinks about the consequences till later. And some people may have thought about it, but there's nothing bigger than what's on their mind. That's what's got them corrupted and caught up. And it's like when you put yourself in those situations of worry and doubt and stress, it brings out a different part of you that you didn't even think existed in yourself. And having been there, I'm like, I don't like that.
No.
I'd rather stick with the artistry. I'd rather make the tracks. I'd rather create these graphics and do videos and spend time with my family. And yes, I could easily throw my life away because I'm feeling some type of way about a situation, but then I'm not going to be able to do or see. I'm not going to be able to do any of these things that I love to do. I'm not going to be able to see any of these people that I care about. So it's the artistry for me is more so about, and where people feel like we're at the end and there's no beauty in the world, because they do not feel like that. We are at the end and there is no beauty in this world. There are still beautiful things about it that make me and do what I do. So
yeah, that's good, QD. Q. I'm about to call you Cuenection. It's
back there in the back.
Yeah. No, that's good. And I could feel everything you said, because I had So my background is dance. I'm from Joliet. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Most people don't know.
I
You
know where
know.
Joliet is.
Okay. Oh, good. I'm always excited when somebody know.
I know. Look, I know about my city and surrounding areas. I do.
Yeah, man. Right on. It's like you said. Like, it helps. Like, definitely helps, and it saves folks' lives. I can remember. So Joliet is heavily influenced by Chicago. Like,
Right.
the setup and everything. So we had GDs, Vice Lords, all that, but on a smaller scale. And I can remember being in talent shows and dancing, and then somebody questioned something about me, like, who is this dude? And then somebody else just able to say, man, that's that dancing dude, you know? And I wasn't just, at first I was like a locker, you know what I'm saying? Pop lock and all that, but then I started footworking. Like, I would say I learned maybe between 8th grade and freshman year, high school. But yeah, it's like I was able to go to different spots within Joliet, no matter what gang was in that spot, because they knew I wasn't on that, you know?
Exactly.
So, because I was that dancing dude.
And I heard a lot of stories like that.
Yeah.
Of people being able to walk through their neighborhood. Like, this is all the stuff. I'm opposite. Like, I grew up in the neighborhood where it was bad, or they call it Sircon City, but I never wanted any parts of it. I already had to live my daily life through it. So whatever escape that I could get away from it, I would. So I kept myself out of street life. Like, I wanted to go to school because I hated waking up every morning and it's, excuse my French, it's niggas standing on the corner.
Yeah.
And this they do, and the house that I live in is on the corner. So I have to get up every morning and watch these guys be on this corner every day, doing their thing and terrorizing the neighborhood. I gotta live here. I gotta this. Nah, I gotta go to school, because if it wasn't dealing with them, it was dealing with an abusive mother. And if it wasn't dealing with her, it was dealing with people at school. So when I hear these stories about y'all being able to, like, that this is the one thing that kept them from trying to recruit you to the streets, is the fact that they knew that you're doing something else that's not, that you don't even belong in it,
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy that you will have to do that in order for your life to be spared.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep. Like, I didn't mean to interject, like, cut you off.
No.
I thought about that. Like, that's not the first time I've heard that, and it's crazy. Like I said, when people don't realize the extent of when we say footwork saved our lives. I could have been in a gang, a baby mama with too many kids. Lord have mercy. I don't know if I survived that. Like, this is the life that they really had carved out for us as women. We were just supposed to be somebody's baby mama and hold down the fort while he do his thing on the street. And it's like, who wants that life? Like, that's not a life to live. And now I got so many kids that my kids are brothers, sisters, and cousins. Like, that's what was pretty much going on when I was coming up. It was too, like, that type of stuff would make anybody want to take their life. You be bullied every day, then you get molested, and then you got to go to school, and then you got to deal with an abusive mom, and it's a miracle I'm still sitting here in this footwork.
Yeah. Footwork. And the grace of God.
And definitely, God been so good to me. Look, I can never deny the greatness that is God. Like, without the entity, I don't believe that God is either male or female. Okay. There's an entity that created all of us. We're made in God's image. We're both male and female, and all of us carry masculine and feminine traits. So I can't say whether God is a man or a woman, but God is an entity and a loving entity. And to have me in a situation where I go through life learning the lessons that I learned and going through the things that I've been through, and here to be able to sit here and tell people A lot of people not making it to 40.
Yeah.
So to be able to sit here and tell my story, sit here with you and tell my story, this is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome hearing your story. No, this is
Awesome.
this is good, and I bet you it's gonna help somebody listening. It's gonna help them. So
And
you
that's
keep.
my goal in life.
Mm-hmm.
Help people around me that feel like they can't be helped. That's one of the parts of my stories I'm really itching to tell, is how people don't realize when you're a bully, the things that you say and the things that you do to people do affect how they are. And I look at myself as a person who was in a position to become a villain, but chose not to become a villain.
Right on.
Because there's choices. Yeah, 2019, I contemplated throwing my whole life away just to get back at somebody who did something to me. But I've had to think about it. I have a child, I have a career, I have a marriage, family. I have people that care about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very upset with what this person did to me. I really think I should have their life, but is it really for me to have? You don't, when you do things, people, they say they carry these things on for a very long time. So it took for me to forgive that person. I know I'm not the bad guy. I had to forgive that person to understand that they come from a background that's even totally different from what my background is, that they put me through the mess that I couldn't understand why. And I understand everybody did. I mean, nobody has perfect parents. Nobody. And it doesn't come with a rule book, a definitive plan. But at some point when you get to a certain age, you start realizing that your life is your own. And you have to take responsibility for your own life and your own destiny. We can always say, hey, this is what makes me do this, but that doesn't have to continue to be your life.
Right on. You're absolutely right.
And that's my goal. It's just really to help the people that bully and those that still the people. Some people that don't even realize they are bullies. They just do because, well, that's what my mama did. Your mama was a bully. I hate to tell you that. We all love our parents and we don't want to look at them any less than. But my mama a bully. There's no other way to call it. I love her dearly, but you can't change who and what a person is, or change the situation is. You can only change yourself. So,
right on. That's it. And it's like they say, hurt people hurt people. Until you make that decision to let go and forgive, you're still a hurt person. If you still hold on to it, you can still hurt people. As long as you're holding on to that hurt.
And you're gonna stay hurt. And it's gonna show in how you carry yourself. It's gonna show how you look. It's gonna show your mannerisms and how you speak, how you act, how you are with others, how you are in different situations. Especially if you're miserable all the time when everybody else around you is happy.
Yeah.
That's a very big indicator. And a lot of people don't, I saw my mom when I went to Chicago, and that was one indicator that I feel like she doesn't realize about herself. Even with the person standing in front of you smiling and glowing and happy, and you see the life in them, you still have a veil of misery over you that you couldn't even muster a smile, and that was in a 10-minute visit.
Whoa.
Once you realize the person got a cloud over them, you leave them with that cloud and you still continue to conduct you. The best way you know how to conduct you. You don't, you don't act an ass as much as you no.
Yeah, you still love them, but you know how they are, and kind of know what to expect. You might have to distance yourself a little bit to protect yourself, but you still love them.
But you still love them, and you check on them. That's what that was, a well-being check. I go check in on my mama, make sure she okay, living, breathing. Okay, but you have to allow people. Everybody doesn't realize that even they are suffering through traumas. Some of them that they just don't even want to accept. So, like I say, You love them from a distance and you keep going. Or as my mom would say, you pray for them and you keep moving.
Yeah.
Taking
Yeah.
their advice.
That's cool. That's good right there. Man, you know, we could go shoot. We can have a long conversation. I'm gonna pull it back a little bit, back to I guess to lighter things. To yeah, man. Let's see here. So my question for you would be, you talked on doing your art and all that, and that helps you to cope with all that we just discussed. What inspires you for your art? You know, the art helps you to cope, but what inspires you when you do your DJing? What inspires you when you draw? What are your inspirations? Or who are your inspirations in these different things?
I actually have one. Remember I said things that people do stick with you for a long time in your life.
Yeah.
So one of my continuous inspirations is the fact that I'm knowing that there's always somebody that's telling me I can't.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm not supposed to.
Okay.
This is not for you. What makes you think you can? At your size, how could you? Or you're a woman, or there's always been some form of doubt thrown at me in every which way. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, you say I can't, then I turn around and not only do I do it, then I do it better than you did it when you said I couldn't do it. So that always keeps me motivated into creating constructive criticism, because again, it's a form of telling me what I cannot do when I know what I'm capable of doing. So the negatives and the no's, as bad as that makes it, because we're trying to move on to a lighter, but these are the things that have shaped me. I come from a base of negative, like I come from dysfunction. I've known my story, I've processed my story. I come from a world of dysfunction. So a lot of negative things keep me in positive light and gives me my inspiration. My friends give me my inspiration, just the fact that they even acknowledge what I do. And I'm not talking like we have friends, like I know people. I got 3 Facebook pages. You know, everybody has met me from either school or work or somewhere when they've met Jorita, and most people know Q, you know, because they know my art or whatever, but who really knows me? You know, who's really for me? And those are the people that give me my inspiration. My son, definitely every day. He definitely gives me my inspiration. My husband and my dad, them being supportive. Shout out to RP, that's my mentor, being supportive.
I was wondering that. Listen to your mix. I'm like, man, it sounds like she learned something from RP. Boo.
Yeah, and I've learned. Listen, I've been listening to these guys since they started this sound. You seen Puss in Boots, the animated movie Puss in Boots?
Puss in Boots, yeah. It's got a series too, cartoon series of it.
Okay, so in the movie, Humpty was walking around and Humpty had been setting up Puss the whole time, and then he was telling him the story. He was like, but I've always been there. And then he was just peeking from behind stuff.
Yeah.
He peeking from behind. He's like, he was always there. That was me. I was Humpty. Yeah. I was always there. Nobody saw me. They really never knew where I was, but I was always there. When I was started in high school, I went to high school in 95. So the style had started a little bit before then. So I had already picked it up, but I never knew anybody. Everybody that was in my circle, I didn't know the dances. As it was explained to me, a lot of the dancers was gangsters. Well, I stayed out of the streets, so I wouldn't know any dancers. And as far as the DJs, nobody else in where I was a DJ. That's just something I always wanted to do, period. Whether it was not, because I have a general love for music. So listening to RP and Clint and Dion and PJ and Milton, those were the guys that helped to shape my sound. Like I would hear this and everybody else, oh, you like that? Yeah, from people I knew wasn't into that. My mama definitely not trying to hear that. Like, you know, what are you listening to? So hearing that and hearing them play, they did influence a lot of how I mix. But what I feel like sets me apart from that is that I have a sick obsession with blending songs. Like if I can do it in my head, it can definitely be done on a pair of 12s. It can definitely be done on these controllers. I don't care what song it is. I could be mixing a classical song and beatboxing another song. Like I'm doing it in my head, it can be done in these mixes. So when I mix, my music is making love to each other. That's for a term of a better phrase. I like to use more of a harder phrase, but you know, I'm trying to keep this family friendly. So
I appreciate that, sis.
But I like to make my music melt like it needs to sound like it's love. That's something that is lacking with people, and it has to have that. Like for me, what I'm delivering to people, I have to be delivering what I feel is love. And so when I mix my music, that's what you hear when you hear these. Like it might last like a minute and a half. I'm sorry, it's a little longer than most people are used to, but did you hear how that sounded? And it's not going to sound the same when this other song cuts off. Something's going to be, and then you're going to feel empty like, dang, that was sounded good until I bring in something else. And now, you know, it's having a love and an appreciation for the sounds that have been created, and not just in footwork, but in every genre of where music is made. It's all in the same key. It has the same A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the same charts and flats and the FACE and spaces. That's music theory, because I play clarinet, so I know how to read sheet music and I know how to write it if I wanted to, but that's one of those things that I have to like put off because I don't want to spread myself thin with all of the things I know how to do. But this is music. It all shares the same notes and sounds. It's just it's in certain keys and it's in certain times. It might be in a 4/4 time, a 3/4 time, but it's all the same. You just have to know what it is that you're listening to and have a serious appreciation for sound.
Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you learned a lot. Hey, but check it out. Support our guest of the day. Our guest information will be listed on the screen. Should be looking at it right now. The social media contacts, the individual's websites and all that. And stay tuned because we will be continuing our conversation next week on Wednesday. Give us the works every Wednesday with your boy DJ Cornerstone. But until then, take care of yourself. God bless you. And Footwork out.